Alright guys, first I want to say thank you for everyone that participated with this Q&A. I did these questions, well I did the Q&A tab on Instagram a long time ago. So thank you again for everyone that sent in your questions on today's topic, which is about money. I'm not an expert, so please take whatever I say with a grain of salt, you guys. So anyways, we have a lot of questions to get into. I'm gonna try my best not to make this video long because I know how much you guys hate long videos. So with that being said, let's get into this. How much do you guys plan to put down on a house? So that can vary. Like with the house market nowadays, we honestly have no clue. Our goal is to put down 20 to 30 grand or more, but again, we never know. Like we live in Boston and it is pricey as heck here. Like your average 2 to 3 bedroom house around here can range from $600,000 to $900,000, even 1.1 million. And I'm not talking about mansions. I'm talking about just 2 bedrooms, maybe 1,700 square feet, wallpaper, carpet still. Like the houses here are so outdated and us millennials are trying our best to like update them. So yeah, I don't know how much we'll be like putting down, but we do plan on saving 20 to 30 grand just for now until we, know an exact amount. Because you never know, the market is just up in the air these days. Have you ever tried couponing? So I have tried to learn how to coupon in the past and it was an absolute fail. There's so many laws in Mass with couponing. I don't know what it is. Like my sisters were couponing for a while and they loved it. But again, they even said like there's so many laws with it that all their hard work was for nothing. And most of the things that I see that's on sale with all the things that you can get with coupons, none of them are like things that I buy. Like it's usually just random items. I don't really buy household items. I clean the floors with water and vinegar. I do buy dish soap and hand soap, but I usually get them at BJ's in bulk. Like it's in like a big gallon. Needless to say, couponing is just not for me. Don't get me wrong, if I do get a coupon, like I do have 2 coupons in the kitchen right now. One is for almond milk. It's like $1.50 off of 2 almond milks. So, well, you have to buy 2 to get the $1.50 off. That's something that I would use on my next grocery trip. So I'm not against couponing. I do use coupons. I just don't go to that extreme because it's just honestly, I don't really have the time for it. Would you do a no spend challenge with your subscribers to help us all save money and motivate? Yes and no. Okay, so the reason why I say no is because some no spend challenges can cause a lot of stress, and I've talked about this in the past where I have seen, and even to myself, like I've tried the no spend challenge and I drove myself freaking crazy. Like I swear I was making life and death decisions on what should I eat for dinner because
I don't want to spend money on food right now. So you know what? All we have is a couple tater tots and 1 vegan chicken patty. That's what I'm gonna eat because I don't want to go out and spend money because I'm doing the no spend challenge.
It is a little toxic, or well, it can be a little toxic. Yes, I would definitely help you guys out with ways on how to save, but no spend challenges can be very difficult. Like I said in the past, try a no spend challenge with Amazon. Say you're not going to purchase anything from Amazon for a month. Maybe go that route. Try a store that you're not going to go to for that month instead of cutting off your spending habits for the entire month, because I guarantee you, you are going to drive yourself insane. And I know a lot of YouTubers, like a lot of minimalist YouTubers won't tell you this, but for me, I've had very bad experiences with the no spend challenge situations. Cheap date night ideas, please, or ideas for no spend date nights at home. I mean, when it comes to cheap date night ideas, it's very hard nowadays because, I mean, it is like winterish time. Well, it's fall. I would say like go for a walk, but here it's kind of getting on that colder side. So it all depends on your area. If you're capable of going for a walk or going to the park, then do a picnic. That's a great cheap date for a couple's afternoon out. You can pack food from your house. You know, it's technically you're gonna eat it in your house, so you're kind of saving money anyways. I find that pretty easy to do, and like I said, it's cheap. But if you are like me and you live in a colder place where going to a park right now is kind of not the best idea, I just think having a date night at home is fine. Netflix, my boyfriend and I do that all the time, and we do stick with a $50 budget when it comes to date night if we go out. So try your best to stick within a budget range so that way you're not overspending on your date nights. I'll try to come up with cheaper date night ideas. At the top of my head, I don't really know because everyone's season right now is different. So like I said, if you live in a warmer place, then you're golden. Go outside. There's so many things to do outside that are free. It's crazy. What resources, YouTubers, books, podcasts, blogs, etc. do you use to learn about finances? I was on a Graham Stephan kick for a while, and then I used to watch Sarah Nurse. I don't think she does YouTube anymore. That was years ago. I used to watch a lot of YouTubers to learn more about the whole finance situation. I kind of steered away from that because with doing this job full time, you don't want to be on YouTube or you don't want to hear someone talk constantly. You kind of just want to step away from the online world when you do this for a job. But I would say out of everybody I watch, Graham Stephan has been the #1 person that I think is the smartest with finances. Also, meet Kevin. He's amazing as well. Those two YouTubers, they know their stuff when it comes to finances, stocks. You can learn more than enough with just one video from them. How can I get out of the never-ending circle of credit card debt? Credit card debt is something that I've never experienced personally because by the time I got a real credit card, I was already at that point in my life where I was like, all right, you know what? Everybody around me is in credit card debt. I'm gonna promise myself not to do that because I was in student loan debt for the longest time, so I know how it is to pay off a debt or just deal with a debt on your back constantly. So the best way to end a never-ending cycle with credit card debt is to pay more than what you're paying each month. So for an example, say you're paying the bare minimum of your payments, of your credit card payments, your credit card debt, I should say. Pay more. If you can, pay $20 to $30 more. That way it's faster to get out of and also stop using it. If you are in credit card debt, don't use your credit card. Use cash if you can. That way you're seeing your money disappear. If you have a credit card, you're not seeing your money physically disappearing. It's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. So by the time you get the balance, it's like, holy crap, that's what I've been spending. But if you have $100 in your hand and you spend 20 at Target, 80 at Walmart, you see how much you have left over and you're like, why do I only have $1 left over? What did I just spend my money on? So those are a couple ways that can help you get out of the credit card debt situation. Also, I have met a few people in the past where they called their credit card company and they made a deal with them. So like I said, I know someone that they owed $20,000 in credit card debt and they ended up going to court and they made a deal with the credit card company that they would pay 10 grand instead of 20 in cash in order for that credit card debt to disappear. So I didn't know that. I didn't know you can make deals with credit card companies like that in court, but it is doable. If you are in that kind of a pinch, call, see what they can do, see how they can help you. But my biggest thing for you is to pay more than the minimum balance. Pay more than what they're telling you to pay. That's the scam part as well. They're telling you to pay this amount when really the interest is just taking over that amount that they're telling you to pay. Pay over it. Do you have any tips to save money as a full-time student or also working part-time? So when I was a student, I worked full-time. I was not saving money. I was actually partying, clubbing, spending all my money while paying for school at the same time. I was paying monthly for a trade school. I still ended up owing like 15 grand after that. I think the best advice I can give to you when it comes to being in school and working and trying to save, live below your means. Make the cheapest meals, don't eat out, don't get Starbucks, go the cheap route instead of the expensive route, don't do what others are doing, what your classmates are doing, worry about yourself when it comes to your money. If you can pick up extra shifts, if you have the time and energy, pick up extra shifts so that extra cash can go into your savings account. But like I said, live below your means. It will help out tremendously. How do you stop yourself from overspending or splurging? So the last time I overspent and the last time I kind of like splurged, when was it? Oh my god, I think it was when I got the Cadillac. I didn't purchase it, but I was doing payments on a Cadillac. I've talked about this before. That was the last time I splurged on something big. And I was 21. I'm 31 right now. I have learned my lesson, and what helped me stop doing that was realizing, like, Kira, you have no money in savings. you are getting older, you're going to need backup money. Things happen. And with things happening, I've had like my car breaking down, I've had to borrow money off of people. Like, it's just a crappy feeling with calling people and be like,
so can I borrow $50 because I don't have enough money to pay for gas this week for my car to get back to work because I spent it all on makeup.
Stupid. So freaking stupid. So that's kind of like how I stop myself completely from overspending. I'm always calculating every dollar, with each bill. Bills come first, by the way. In my world, bills come first. You need a roof over your head. You need food in your kitchen. Milo's bills come first. I had his $1,400 vet bill. Thankfully, I had money in savings to pay that. So I'm not on a payment plan where there's interest. So that's what got me to stop overspending, was realizing that, Kiera, if you spend your money right now on this stupid item, you're gonna have to work 10 times harder to make that money back and some. You have to think of yourself when it comes to the future. No one is going to save you. Not all the time, at least. Where/how do I start a retirement savings? I just turned 30 and I'm lost. I am the same way. I mean, as for my case, I don't make enough to put money aside for retirement. When I pay my taxes, a percentage does go to my Social Security, which also ends up going to retirement, but it's not much. A Roth IRA is the best way to go when it comes to putting your money towards retirement, but I don't know much about it. So I feel like with questions like this, go to Graham Stephan's channel. Okay, there's so many people out there on YouTube that know way more and have better advice than what I would have, because I am still lost with the whole retirement thing. I'm 31 years old and I really should be saving a lot more for retirement than what I am right now. How to stay motivated to save when everyone seems to have endless supply of money to spend. This is so true. Okay, so quick example, and I'm not putting any other like YouTubers down, but you guys know I'm very honest with how much I make with YouTube. I make from like $1,000 to $1,500 a month. Very little from my area, because we're living in Boston. It's expensive. Even if I was to live here by myself with making $1,500, I could never afford this rent. This rent is $1,550. I would have no money left over to pay my car insurance, Milo, like nothing. So I get it with seeing everybody else spend a lot of money. I watch a lot of other YouTubers, a lot of vloggers that have the same amount of subscribers I have, the same amount of views, and they are buying houses. They're buying an excessive amount of things. And I also feel like, where is this endless supply of money coming from? Because I'm over here, I'm not struggling, but I'm definitely not doing as good as I was, say, 3-4 years ago with money when it comes to saving. So the best way to stay motivated is just to stay in your own lane and realize that some things aren't always as they seem. So when you see people spend money, I also had to take a step back and be like, these people are probably getting themselves in debt. They're probably not buying it in cash or, with any of their savings. They're probably just putting it on the credit card, getting loans. So the best way to stay motivated when you see people spending money is to, again, think in the back of your mind, like, all right, these people aren't really probably spending their money. They're probably spending someone else's money, the bank's money, credit card. They're probably getting themselves in debt. And if they are spending their own money, then good for them. Focus on yourself. Be true to yourself. Because at the end of the day, like I always say, no one's going to be there to help you. Like, no one is going to care if you don't have enough money to pay a certain bill. That's how you're going to stay motivated, is taking care of yourself and your own needs. Dilemma: need to save, but what do I do about good quality food? So my biggest tip for good quality food, I'm also in a huge saving spree as well, and fresh produce is expensive. Like a mango here is like almost $3. An avocado, one avocado is like $2.49. So strawberries, it's not strawberry season, so a box of strawberries here, like a small box, is $10. So the best thing you can do, skip fresh produce, go to the frozen food aisle and get all your vegetables frozen. Obviously not lettuce, that cannot be in the frozen food aisle. You have to buy lettuce from the fresh produce aisle, but stick with frozen food. Always check the ingredients in the back as well. Make sure there's no extra ingredients like salt or any of that crap. Just see if the ingredients just say frozen broccoli, frozen strawberries. That's where you're gonna save the most amount of money. That's what's been saving us a ton of money when it comes to our grocery bill, and good quality food is sticking with frozen products, like frozen food, I should say. Do you often think about your financial situation and are you anxious about it? Heck yes. I think about my financial situation constantly. I'm always afraid that I'll never have enough. It's something that I think most people my age think about, especially when they're not making enough. Thankfully, I do live a very simple lifestyle. I don't spend my money stupidly anymore. So I know deep down inside I'll be okay. Even if YouTube was to end right now, I know I have skills to go get a regular job and keep going with saving or keep going with my whole life. But there is a lot of financial anxiety I deal with on a daily basis. Like, I wake up in the morning sometimes and I think about, is this going to be a bad month with YouTube? If it is, let me think of something else to do with income. Like, let me think of another way to make income. And of course, it's just what's in my head. I always make enough to get by. It is something that I deal with, and it does create some anxiety. That's why I always say therapy helps, because that's what helped me realize that there's nothing wrong with what I make. You know, my boyfriend and I are a team, and even if we weren't a team, I always try my best to work it out on my own, and I always just figure it out for Kira. So I know deep down I'll be okay, but you know, the anxiousness is always gonna be there. I think for all of us, especially with inflation. I cannot wait for things to just be back at like regular prices, because between gas, food, like it's insane. It's gone out of control. About how much should I have saved by the time I moved out of my parents' house? Lily, it all depends, honestly, on your area, but for me, my safe number, when I moved out of my mom's house, I had 13 grand, I believe. Yeah, it was 13 grand. My goal was to get to 17 grand, but I had an amazing opportunity to have to get my first apartment, which I filmed my first apartment years ago. You can go back and see how beautiful it was. Some of you guys are not over how beautiful that apartment was. Trust me, I know. It was a great apartment. It was a really good decision for myself. So even though I didn't get to my $17,000 goal, moving out with 13 grand was still perfect. I had enough with security deposits, first and last month's rent. I had enough to be ahead with bills and not be on that whole paycheck to paycheck situation, because that was something that I did not want to do anymore. So that's what caused me to save a lot of money before moving out, because I've seen my sisters struggle. The minute they turned 18, they moved out with $0, and they would call me to borrow money from me because they knew I was living at home and saving, well, when I got my life together. Anyways, not getting off topic, the best number to save is around $13,000 to $17,000. I know it seems like a lot, but with all the prices going up, even if you save 4 to 5 grand, it still won't be enough, because again, you have to think of first and last month's rent, security deposit, your car insurance if you have a car, if you have pets, if you have student loan debt. You have to think of all those bills ahead of time before getting an apartment. I know it's nerve-wracking. Don't let this all discourage you, but just save your money. Save, work your butt off, and you will be fine. Easiest way to discipline ourselves with money spending. The easiest way is, like I've been saying in all of my videos, is to focus on yourself and live below your means. Those are the two easiest ways that you can discipline yourself when it comes to overspending money that you don't have. Credit score tips. So again, take whatever I say with a grain of salt. I am a different case here. I would say when it comes to your credit score, just stop with the store credit cards. I had Kohl's and I had Victoria's Secret, and they did absolutely jack for my credit. My credit when I lived with my mother was around 4 something, and that is horrible. It was actually 3 something, to be honest. I think it was like 389. In order for me to make that credit score go up, right now my credit score is at 780. To me, it's all right. I know for some of you guys are gonna laugh. I know it's like the best credit score ever. 780, I've been stuck there for a while, but that's just a personal preference. Like, I want to be at the highest, but in time. So what helped me go from 389 to 780 was to pay off bad debts, pay off, any health insurance issues you had, like any health bills, medical bills, I should say, pay off any credit card debt. That's gonna ruin your credit score. Student loan debt, believe it or not, student loan debt is bad debt. I don't care what anybody says. Student loan debt in general, like the interest rate to these student loans is horrible. I wish education could be free for everybody, but that's not the world we live in. especially in the US. The US takes full advantage of people that want to go to school and, you know, better their lives. Try to pay off your student loan debt. If you owe a lot of money, try to pay above what they're asking. That will make your credit score go up as well. And never be late with your credit card payments. That will be good as well too for your credit score. Another thing that will help it go up is getting a real credit card. Getting a decent credit card, I should say. The credit card I've had since 2017. I love it. I love it. I get cash back on every purchase. Every bill I pay with that credit card, I get cash back. So I make about $300 to $400 a year just in cash back. And of course, that $400 goes straight into my savings. Get yourself a decent credit card, because credit cards do make your credit go up, believe it or not. We do live in this money world, so in the US, credit cards are ideal. I know, it sucks to even say that, but you have to boost up your credit somehow. Like, I do not own any, like, I don't have a house, I don't have any other assets. What I have is like my credit card, and that's basically it. That's what helped my credit score from, you know, 389 to 780. So yeah, stay far away from those store credit cards, Walmart, Target. Those credit cards are gonna do nothing for you, because all you can do is spend your money at that store. You can't use it for gas, you can't use it to pay bills. So your credit is only gonna go up when you need something from the store. Well, and it's not even gonna go up tremendously. It's gonna go up like a tiny, tiny bit. But if you are getting a real credit card and you pay your bills on time, you're never late, your credit score will go up tremendously. And I am living proof of this. Again, everybody's case with credit cards is different. I've had a really good streak with how I brought my credit score up. What do you think about HelloFresh? Worth the money? So I think any meal prep subscription is decent for those that don't have time to think of meal ideas. I know they could be pricey, so definitely do the math. Like, if it's cheaper to just go to Stop and Shop and grab the ingredients from there, if you have the time, then do it. But if you don't have the time and you don't really know how to cook, these kind of like food subscriptions can really help you out. So I think it all depends on the person. Are there apps that you use to keep track of your spending and bills? I'm old school, so I do not use any apps to keep track of anything. I write everything down in a notebook. I personally just like to write. I love to sit down at my desk. I love to just jot notes down for YouTube, or just write down my bills. I love to write. So yeah, I don't use apps to calculate everything. I mean, don't get me wrong, I use the calculator app because I suck at math, but I don't use a specific app to calculate my spending. I do pay for QuickBooks, but that's for tax purposes with being self-employed. That's the only app I have to track my whatever I spend on the business. That's about it. Favorite money saving tip. Favorite money saving tip has to be reusable items. Switching over to, well, I mean, more than half of our household items, personal items, is reusable. I haven't bought sponges since 2018. I haven't bought pads or any of that kind of, you know, period stuff for myself since 2019. Yeah, so that's like the biggest money saving tip I have for anybody out there is switch over to a reusable item and you will save yourself thousands a year. It's crazy. Do you invest in stocks or do you just save money? Short answer here, no, I do not invest in stocks, but I do have stocks. So I have a couple random stock. When I used to be affiliate with Webull back in like 2019, I was doing like affiliate links with them. I do not know much about stocks. I have learned the bare minimum. I know stocks make you money over time. So I have about 8. My biggest stock is Apple. I have 3 shares of Apple. Thanks to my boyfriend. He gave me that on my birthday. I love Apple products. So he gave me that for my birthday. And that's kind of it when it comes to stocks. So when it comes to like money, I do just save it, whatever I have left over. How much would you want to make per month from YouTube? I don't want to be greedy, but at the same time, I want to have money to do stuff, not just for me, but to help my family. I think for me, 4 to 5 grand a month would be amazing. I hope I'm not sounding greedy. Like I said, I make $1,000 to $1,500 a month, and I think 4 to 5 grand is a nice sweet spot. because I have enough to pay bills, I have enough to save, and I have enough to help my family members. So with living below my means, if I make that kind of money, I could like help my mom get her first house. Like my mom's in her 50s and she lives in a small studio. She's never owned a house in her life. She always dreamt of having a house, but my mom lives paycheck to paycheck. For those of you that are new here, I was always brought up on low income. So this whole like me making $1,000 to $1,500, like less money than what others make, is nothing new to me. I was brought up with food stamps, you name it, I was brought up with it. And I have nothing against it. It's made me into the person I am today. But I would love to help my mom get her first house. I would love for my sisters to be okay. I would love to buy my sister a decent car. Her car keeps dying on her. Yeah, so I would love to help people. That's the reason why I would like to make more money, is not only to help myself, but I would like to help the people around me. Obviously, don't give everything to everybody because then people won't learn a lesson, but it's always good to help. I know it's a long-winded answer, but if I was to make 4 to 5 grand a month, I could not only help myself, but I could help my mom, my sisters, for once. Anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed. Now the sun comes out. It was so dark and gloomy. Sorry for the poor lighting, but I hope you enjoyed this chill video. I hope it wasn't too long. Let me know down below what other like Q&A topics I should do. I know I didn't answer everybody's question. It's highly impossible. There was like over 200 questions that you guys gave me, but I tried to pick out the few that I could answer for the short amount of time that I have. So again, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know the topic you would like for me to talk about next, and then put your question below that topic in the comment section. With all of that being said, I will catch you in the next video.